Hello everyone and welcome to my channel On The Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's find out what's been on the hook. I guess you've already figured out that my voice is not what it should be today. I've had a very rough week. I contracted a virus last weekend. I've had laryngitis all week. So today is the first day I could really talk and get the words out. So I thought I would hop on here and do a Friday video. I know it's usually Giveaway Friday, but this Friday, I already gave my gifts away on Monday. And if you're a member of the community, then you would have received an email with a free pattern for my glamour cowl in that. And I know I had some people who said they were going to make the cowl for a homeless shelter for the 2020 challenge, which is what originally the pattern was written for. And I think that's a wonderful idea. So you don't have to put the fur on it, or you could put the fur on it. It might be a nice touch. But you could use that to make a garment, a wearable garment for your local homeless shelter or a women's shelter. They always need things like that to keep their clients warm. So I just wanted to bring that up. I got a lot of thank yous for the pattern, and I wanted to answer them all, but honestly, they were in the hundreds. I was just so excited that y'all were excited to get the pattern. But it was a labor of love. I enjoyed doing it, and all along I was going to give it to y'all. I wanted to make sure that I could give you something every now and then. Everybody gets something instead of just one or two people every week, because it does get sad when you sign up for a giveaway and you never ever win. Now, everybody won on Monday, so we've kind of started out from day 1 0, and I'll have another giveaway on Monday. And that will be for 2 items, and I already got them picked out. So I'm excited to do that. So join me on Monday if you would. So grab a crochet project, and I'm going to quickly go over some things that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, mostly about projects that I have in the works. I have an announcement to make and an acquisition. So let me get started with that. I'll start with the acquisition first. I've been working on this project for so long that I cannot wait to have it done. And on Monday, I'll be wearing this garment. And I actually ordered a chartreuse turtleneck that I said I was going to try to find. I did find one on Amazon. It was $10. I couldn't pass it up. It is just to wear under this one sweater. I probably won't be wearing it under much. But you know, I might wear it under a black jacket with some blue jeans or something. I think that would look really cool with some little booty shoes, and I'll be all ready to go somewhere, but, you know, not anywhere special, not to church. But I could wear it somewhere. So I'm glad that I bought that. And I bought it to wear under the Highland sweater made out of chunky yarn. And somebody else asked me that. Number 5 is chunky yarn. It's chunky yarn, and this is what it looks like. It looks better on than it does just me hanging it up on my hands here. But I didn't want to try it on because I've got something else to show you. But this is what it looks like so far. I have not sewn the underarm sleeve on this one yet. I don't think I've done it. No, I haven't done that on either side. And I have probably 4 or 5 rows left to do for the cuff on one sleeve. Now, what I've done is I've run myself down to this much yarn. I don't think that's going to be enough to finish the sleeve and to do a neck edging and maybe even something along the bottom. I don't know what I'm going to do with that just yet. But this is not enough to do that with. So as you know, I went out on eBay and I looked for some Highlander yarn because they didn't have it on Lovecrafts, which is where I originally ordered it from. And I think I went to the James Brett website, and it's not listed there either. So they've just quit making it. So I thought eBay will have it. Surely enough, they did. And they sent me 5 balls. I needed 1, maybe 2. I only needed 1 really. But they sent me 5 balls because that's how it was packaged. And it didn't cost very much. I think it was like $20. And I know that seems like a lot to just finish a sweater, but I'm on YouTube and I had to finish it. I didn't want to just set it somewhere after spending all those hours on it. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and pay the $20. I'll be fine. I've spent $20 on Red Heart Super Saver before, so it's not a big deal. You know, it's not like I spent that much. But this was more than I needed, so I'm either going to have to make a long scarf with it, make a cowl out of it, use it for a giveaway. I might do something with it, I don't know. but I'll use what I need, and then what I have left over I will have to do something else with. So that is the progress I've made on my Highlander sweater. I should be wearing it on Monday, so stay tuned for that. All right, now along with that acquisition of the yarn, I bought some stitch markers, and y'all know that I talk about this in my patterns if you have ever bought one. I really stress that you must use lots and lots of stitch markers. And the reason is, when you're designing a sweater, like even when you're not designing a sweater, if you're going right by the pattern, sometimes it's good to use a stitch marker. Just use it. Just put it there where you put a decreased stitch or an increased stitch. And that way you will be sure that you decreased on that row instead of holding it up to the light and trying to see, oh, did I put 2 stitches together? As soon as you do the decreased stitch, put your hook down, grab a stitch marker, and put it at the end of that row or on that stitch. Sometimes I'll just put it right on the stitch so that I can spot it later and I know which row it's on. So I bought these stitch markers on Amazon. They're not clover. And I do have some clover stitch markers, and I love them dearly. I've put one somewhere. Just to show you the difference between this clover stitch marker and this off-brand stitch marker. And I say off-brand, I don't even know what brand it is. There was a foreign name on it. I don't know what it was. But if you can see that, this is the clover stitch marker. And it's much thinner. And it's a lot more flexible than the other one. This is the other one. It still looks the same, but this one is much thicker than this one. The only downside to that is when you have one hand and you're trying to do a stitch, if you're holding the crochet hook and you're trying to put a stitch marker in, you really can't do this with one hand. These are very, very tight. Now I could probably loosen them up a little bit, but to close it you really need to push on one side and push on the other. So that's the difference. Now they may last longer than the clover, I don't know. And they also open better than the clover. The clover tends to be like this most of the time. You have to force it open to get it around a stitch. So that's just the nuances of buying different brands of stitch markers. But there are 100 stitch markers in here, and I think I paid $6 or $8 for them. And to me that's worth it because I usually have 4 or 5, 6 sometimes sweaters going at the same time, and I need a lot of stitch markers. So I just went ahead and bought 100 of them. I thought that is crazy, but you know, I'll be using these because I've got some stitch markers hung up in sweaters that I'm not going to take them out of until I get the sweater sewn up. So I needed some more and I bought them, and something that I needed. So that was a needed acquisition right there, the stitch markers. And I recommend that you buy a big package as well. When you make one of my patterns, you're going to need sometimes 20 to 30 to 40 stitch markers, and it's better to just have cheap ones that'll stay on your stitch than trying to deal with expensive stitch markers. Now I love these stitch markers. These are my favorites, and these are ones that I've gotten over the last few months from ladies who watch me on YouTube. And I've put them all on this little stitch marker holder from Kim's Crochet and Knits. Love you, Kim. Thank you so much. I have used the heck out of this thing. And look, you can just attach them anywhere. They don't have to go in any specific order or place. And I've got all my very fancy special stitch markers. Some of y'all may recognize the ones that you sent me. That's so exciting. I have them right here, and they never get lost because I know where they are right there. And I can just throw this in to my project bag if I need it. And I'll tell you what I use these really special ones for. And here's an example of one. And when I say really special, I just mean they're big. And I probably wouldn't want to use them at the end of a row to show a decreased stitch. But here's one. I believe it was Nan's Next Knots that sent me that, but I can't swear to it. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. It might have been Kim. But this is beautiful, and I have several really beautiful stitch markers. And I use these to show the right side of the fabric. And they stay on my fabric the whole time I'm working on the garment. So when I finished with the garment, I take them off. I put them right back onto my stitch marker holder that Kim gave me. So it's really neat. All you do, I'm sure you could make one. You just make a square of single crochet and then put an edging around it and tie a little chain, make a chain and Tiny little bow. And you can hang it up that way, but actually I just lay mine on my desk so I can look at them all the time. So I really, really like that. Now, what I'm wearing. Oh my. I finally finished my Friday cardi. I'll stand up and let y'all look at it. This is done with a city tweed from Knit Picks, which is a beautiful wool, and it's purple with flecks in it. It's very, very beautiful. I've shown it lots of times. This is done in a worsted weight yarn by Knit Crate, and the colorway is Shoreline, and it's 40% superwash merino, 30 silk, 30 alpaca. Beautiful yarn, very, very soft. It's very, very soft. And because that yarn is so soft, it doesn't stand up like the black Super Saver that I used, or I might have used Vanna's Choice on my Friday cardi that I made out of the, I don't have it with me right now, but I made it out of the chartreuse color Vanna's Choice and a black trim. And it was beautiful. You can go out on my Etsy shop and see pictures of it. It's quite pretty. But this one I decided to do opposite, and I did the dark sweater with the light trim, and I don't like it as much. What I do want to show you is that some of my viewers had said that where I connected the trim to the sweater was too odd looking. So what I did on this particular sweater is I crocheted a row of single crochet along the edge where the trim was going to be, around the side, along the front, and around the back of the neck. I single crocheted that in the sweater color, and then I started the trim in the lighter color. And as you can see, it's not as sharp a contrast there. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's a sharp contrast, but the lighter color doesn't dig into the sweater, because without that single crochet row, I would have to reach over here into the half double crochets, and the ends of the rows are deep, and when you put the light color in there, it makes a long stitch right there. And it gives a little bit of a rough edge to the trim where it meets the sweater. So I did fix that. I did not put a light colored trim on the sleeve. I decided that I really wanted it to just not be loud right here. It was loud enough around the edges because it's such a stark contrast from the color of the sweater. Another suggestion from a viewer was that I should just make the trim out of the color of the sweater, which would look like that. And that would be perfectly fine, but I didn't have enough yarn, and I did not want to order more of this yarn because it's kind of expensive. It's like $8 or $10 a ball, and I would need probably a couple of balls, maybe a ball and a half, but I'd still have to order 2. And it took a whole hank of this. I had a little bit left over, but not much. But to go around all these rows of half double crochet around the edge, and I think in my pattern I said 4, but I just put another row in because it looked better with one more row. So I did that, and it took a whole hank of this. This is my second hank. So it took a hank of that to do the trim. So if I had it to do over again, and if I didn't have all these projects going, I might rip this out and put a black trim on it and just forget about it. I bought a skein of black Super Saver a couple weeks ago because it's always good to have black size 4 yarn in your stash, and I didn't have any. I used up the other Vanna's Choice on my other Friday cardi sweater. It doesn't stand up the way the black Super Saver did because it's not as stiff a yarn. It's a very soft yarn, and it is very easy on your neck too. It feels good. It feels good. So I'm not complaining. It's just I knew when I first started talking about this and looking in my stash, because I was trying to bust my stash, and I didn't really want to go buy another color of yarn, because really the only one that would really look good is this color that it's made out of, because you couldn't match that. I mean, it's purple yarn basically. I might as well just get what I used to make the sweater with, or black. This is an odd color, and it has to grow on you. I've worn it around all day today, and it's okay. It doesn't bother me, But you can't wear it with any color under here except black, because I tried a cream color, white, off-white, a light purple. It did not go. It did not go. So I went to the black, and I'm fine with that. But my options aren't as many because I can't use lots of colors with it. But it's okay. I wanted to make another Friday cardie, so I did. And this one's wool, and it's very, very warm, and it feels great on. I can't complain about that. Progress on another sweater, and y'all know which one this is, the basketball size James Brett marbled yarn. And this is the sweater, and I'm almost done with it. I've got one more sleeve seam to sew. I've sewn this one up. This is already sewn up down the side, and this is the wrong side of the sweater, by the way. And this is the other sleeve that I have not sewn yet. So this is what it looks like, and it's pretty. I'm liking it. It's not quite as heavy as the green one, and I'm just making it very simple. It's a little bit boxy, and I'll probably just wear an off-white turtleneck with this. You could wear a charcoal color or black, white, brown. This has a plethora of colors in it, and I really like the yarn. I really like it. Now, I'm on my third ball of yarn, and I'm almost finished. So I really only used 2 full balls, which made it about 750 yards, plus what I'm going to use off of this. So yeah, it might have been 900 yards of yarn, because it's a number 5. It's not going to take 1,300 yards of a number 3 or maybe even a number 4. It takes way less, but it's also a fatter yarn. It crochets very quickly. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours and hours on it. So that's that. Now, I have an announcement today that, and I'm sorry about my light. I'm having to get up and go cough and compose myself a little bit because I've been ill this week. So I'm trying to cut that out of my video. I don't want y'all to have to listen to me cough. So every now and then I'll come back and I might look a little different. It just depends. All right, my announcement. I am on Instagram now. You can go out and take a look. On the Hook Crochet is the name of my space, and it's been fun. I've put some pictures out there of things that will not go on YouTube. And also, a nice lady named Darla sent me some photos of some articles that she made for a women's shelter or a homeless shelter. I'm not sure which. But my suggestion would be to take the glamour cowl, the pattern that I sent out to y'all in the community on Monday, to make one for a shelter and take a picture of it and send it to me. You can use that pattern to make a cowl to give away. You know, that's one of the reasons I sent it out. But I did intend to send it to everybody when I created the cowl. I knew that's what I wanted to do with it. So I really had a fun time writing that pattern for y'all because it was intended to give away to begin with. Y'all go out there and find me on Instagram. You can follow, and I think you can like. And like I said, there's some photos out there of things that I'm doing that I don't always put on YouTube. Progress on projects and, you know, questions that I ask myself every now and then. So those are out there. I don't know a whole lot about Instagram, so I've made some mistakes putting posts out there, but most people are very forgiving, and I've got a few followers already, so I appreciate that. And if you want to go out there and take a look, you're welcome to it. So now I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook with a Facebook group, I'm on YouTube, and I'm also, one of my goals is to create a website this year. I'd like to have my own website, and I can put things on there that I want to, and there are lots of things that I could do this year, and I have some great ideas, but I don't want to tell you all of them because some of them might have to wait till the following year, and I don't really want to commit to a list of goals just yet. But one of my goals for this year was to create an Instagram page and to put some posts out there and to keep it up. So that's what I'm doing. My Facebook group I haven't kept up with as well as I wanted to, and I go out there about once a week, which really isn't often enough, and look at everybody's posts and add new members if they want to be added to the Facebook group. Sometimes it's just overwhelming. There's a lot to do, and I don't get it done like I should. But I am working on that, and I'm actually working a job here from the house, and so I'm just adding on to more things for me to do. But it's okay. I also have plans for some new patterns for spring and for summer. I'm working on that, and I have one more sweater that I really want to make before the end of the winter. I have my Highlander green, my Highlander brown. Those are almost finished. And then I also have a burnt orange and black sweater that y'all saw it a couple weeks ago. I think I started it and I worked on it, and then I put it aside so I could finish the Highlanders. And I want to finish that one, and then there's another one that I want to make. One of the fashion ideas for the coming year is color block sweaters. And I know that sounds crazy. If you were in the 70s, you know what those are. But the color blocks for this particular year coming up are going to be more subtle. And they're also going to be in the same color palette. Some of them like black with the charcoal stripe at the top, or blocks of pastel colors that blend well, things like that. Not the Mondrian look, which is the yellow, bright yellow, and then red, and then green, and then pink, and then, I never did really like those sweaters and dresses, but they're kind of coming back. Things always make a cycle, and we all know that, but they're coming back in a little bit more subtle fashion, and I like that. So I have a sweater in mind that I'm going to start, and it's going to be color block, but it's not going to be wild and crazy. If you want to make it wild and crazy, you certainly could, but it's just going to have 2 colors. It's not going to have 3 or 4 colors yet. I'm going to have to design another one for more than one break in the color. But I just wanted to experiment with that, so I'm going to see where that takes me in the next week or 2. I'd like to get that started, get that going. I also have plans to release a pattern hopefully on Saturday morning for the Highlander sweater. I'm working on it now. I hopefully will finish it fairly soon. I also have plans for one article at least for Valentine's Day. I have an idea of something I want to do for that, which is incorporating a new stitch into a pattern. A new stitch which is not a half double crochet, or single crochet. I make my articles of clothing mostly out of those 3 stitches because everybody knows how to do them. But I would like to incorporate some new stitches into my patterns. And these would be optional. You don't have to do them, but it would be a learning experience. And I would do, hopefully, a tutorial of just that stitch. And it wouldn't be a very long tutorial at all. I could put the link right in the pattern. And of course I would release it on my YouTube channel under tutorials. But it wouldn't be a tutorial on how to make a sweater. It wouldn't be that, or even how to make a scarf. The tutorial would be on the special stitch that you use within the pattern. So I hope you like that idea. That was just one of my ideas, because everybody likes tutorials, but I think sometimes it's healthier to read a pattern and maybe get a tutorial on the stitch itself. That's why Glenda at Creative Grandma is so popular, because she has Stitch of the Week. Well, if you want to learn how to do a shell stitch, you can watch her and you will know how to do a shell stitch when you finish. And I don't know how many during the year I'll be able to do. I have lots of things that I want to do this year, and I won't have time to do every single one, so I have to pick and choose. And that's one of the things I really would like to do, because this is a learning channel. I want y'all to learn some of the different ways you can make garments, and some special stitches that you can use, what kind of yarn to select and how much you have to buy. And my patterns are in a conversational style, so I'm trying to do things differently than other channels, because we all need to learn differently, and we all need to offer y'all different things. Not every YouTuber should be the same as every other YouTuber, because then it wouldn't be any fun to go from one to the other. You don't learn anything new. So that said, I'm going to end this YouTube so I can go cough some more. Hopefully, I'll be in better shape on Monday. I'm hoping to wear my Highlander sweater with my brand new chartreuse turtleneck on Monday. And I will be back with a giveaway. I've got a couple things I'm going to give away on Monday. So be sure to tune in then. So join me next time to find out what's on the hook.